All right, Sam, I just saw you did 30 reps of Bulgarian split squat. That's great. Oh my gosh, we need to go heavier then. Oh, that's great. That's awesome. All right, guys. Thanks for joining. We're gonna get going and just so usually I always say this in the beginning so people are aware. I'm gonna talk about a few things, usually nutrition and training related, and then I want to remind you guys, this is for you. This is for you to get extra coaching. So whatever questions you guys have, whatever comments you have throughout, you have from the previous week, shoot. I don't care if it's like personally just for you, for your personal training, for your nutrition. That's fine. Ask that question. I'm here to answer it for you. And also, people like to hear different things. Like, people will hear something from someone else and be like, "Oh, I never thought about that. This is great." So, even if you think it's specific for you, your experience might help someone else. So, don't be afraid to ask any question, regardless of how detailed or broad it is. Sounds good? All right. So, let me share my screen. I hope you guys can see this, Cassie. Okay, you're not driving anymore. Um, so I shared this with you guys like a day ago. Let's see. Boom. Can you guys see that? Awesome. And this was a conversation that I actually had with Tiffany, and she was like, "Man, I don't know, I feel very down sometimes when I fail in my training, when I fail lifts, and like, can we talk about this?" I was like, "Dude, this is awesome. Let's talk about this, right?" And I'm gonna tie this into nutrition. I'm gonna tie this into training. And the reason why I want to do this is because right now I'm super passionate about the holidays. And from a nutrition standpoint, I freaking hate the holidays because people use this as such a big excuse not to do anything. Okay. And the biggest thing is obviously the picture is super, super straightforward. Take, you know, opportunities and take shots on target. Like, that's more progress than not even attempting anything, right? And this is probably one of the biggest lessons that I was thinking of, how people put themselves in this like situation where you could have had progress. You could have had even very little progress, but you still would have taken steps towards something that is going to improve you either as an athlete or improve your nutrition. But you decided not to take anything. You decided not to shoot on target. You decided not to take any step towards improving your nutrition. And that actually put you way more backwards than even if you just like try and shoot one arrow, even if it's not perfect, right? But even if it's like you almost got it onto the target, that's still better than not even attempting it, right? So Tiffany was like, dang, I missed this like hang power snatch. I missed it like 3 times, and I was like, all right, well, I'm calling it 135 or whatever it was, 140. It's like, hey, dude, you just got better. Like, you got exponentially better because you took the shots, because you took the attempts, right? And when we take this into your nutrition, as an athlete, as someone who is even trying to improve their nutrition in like the slightest, right? Right now, we have 45 days left of 2025. And I talked about this even like 2 weeks ago. Let's say we take 5 days from these 40 days and dedicate them to the holidays. You have Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve, 5 days. 2 days for Thanksgiving, 2 days for Christmas, and then a day for New Year's. You completely take off. You're not following a plan for nutrition, whatever. You still have 40 days that you could have taken good actionable steps to improving your training, to improving your nutrition, to even just like, even if a day is not perfect, but even if you choose 2 meals per day to be, hey, you know what? These are going to be meals that I think they're going to get me closer to being the person that I want to be. That's so many opportunities, and people always fixate on because I can't do it perfectly, because I can't land the arrow in the middle every single time, I'm just not going to shoot at all, right? And that's so backwards when it comes to you wanting to improve a lot of things. So, advice here for nutrition, for training, for business, for anything you want to do. When you start, guess what? You're not going to be fucking hitting the center of the target, and that's okay. But you're only going to get closer if you shoot more arrows and you try and get closer to the target each time. Does not have to be perfect. I know, super cheesy to say, um, but the more I think about it, the more I thought about it last week, the more I think about my business and what I'm doing, the more passionate I get about it, especially when it comes to nutrition and having these conversations with people. So shoot more arrows, don't have to be perfect. Comments and questions on this before I move on so we don't forget about it. Tiff, I want to ask you about your experience because you were hitting those hang power snatches and we had that conversation after. How did you change your mindset? What did you think about after that? Yeah, 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 yep, yeah, awesome. Love that. All right, one more topic I wanted to cover. I had a question and this week, and we were talking about it, and so usually, I would say in general population, people will be like having issues with obviously overeating food or overeating carbohydrates and things like that. And rarely, people are eating enough protein. But you guys are a different community. You guys are very health conscious. You guys want to improve nutrition. You want to improve your training. So I had a question and it was like, oh my gosh, what happens if I don't get enough like protein in a day? But I'm saying this because most of you are very aware of what you're doing already, right? And for you guys, for this community of people, um, the question was like, well, if I don't hit my protein goal one day, like, do I like try and get more the next day to make up for it, right? And the same approach I would take with anything. For example, if we have the other side of the spectrum of wow, went overboard on eating, overeating calories, overeating carbohydrates that day. Should I just not eat as much the next day? And, probably 10 out of 10 times my answer is no. What I need you to do is just do what you've done every day, right? Get back in the saddle. You don't have to change anything. Nothing drastic is going to happen if you overeat or undereat one day. What is going to really drive the needle and have you like progress is what you do over a span of like 3 to 4 weeks. So really to pull you guys back from this kind of like really fixated day by day progress, right? The steps and the days are very incremental. What we need to really pull back on and look from a wider kind of lens is what happens from, 3 to 4 week time span, right? So getting a little bit over, a little bit under, there's no reason to stress about it. I'll tell you this, I've been in a position and a phase where when I was measuring and wanting to be like on the dot, like precise, I wouldn't lick the peanut or like the peanut butter off the spoon because I knew there was like extra, 20 calories. Like I was so like zoned in on this, and I know how constraining this type of mindset is. But guess what? like licking the peanut butter off the spoon one day is not going to ruin your diet either, right? So really pulling back and thinking, okay, what am I doing, over a span of like 4 weeks? So under eating or overeating anything in one day is not going to be really that drastic. It's not going to change much about you and how you feel and what you do. It's what you do over the span of a longer time period. And my dog right there keeps opening the door because she knows how to open the door. So she comes in here. So that's my comments on this. If you guys have questions or comments, you can just like honestly do this. If you guys see this emoji thingy, you can just oh shoot, oh not clap, but you can raise your hand if you want to like talk. Oh, there it is. Raise your hand like this. You can just click that, and then you can say that you have a comment, and I'll stop, and you just go in and talk. So just do that. Just do that. Sounds good? Okay, great. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Cassie. Hmm. Yeah. Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's awesome. Well, here's something that I will say about this, and I listened to this. I heard this on my drive yesterday, and it was great. So like even up to probably the 90s or 80s, like people did not measure food. People did not like weigh in their food. People did not like follow anything like that. And there were plenty of athletes that looked amazing. There were plenty of people that looked okay. There were plenty of people that were in a very like in a very healthy BMI range, even if just a like eyeball test, right? So like we didn't have that. Like people, you don't need to track to be able to be at a healthy body weight. You don't need to track to be a very high performing athlete either. Like, yes, it is a very valuable tool that creates a lot of awareness for people, and used properly it's great. Like depending on the person, I will ask people to track depending on what their goals are, and I might never even bring it up to people. And really depends on what they need, right? But that thought of like, well, hold on, like before people did not have to weigh their food or never even really thought about macros. They just saw food as necessary thing to be to fuel as a well-performing athlete and they did it without weighing in everything and knowing exactly what it is, right? So it is possible. It's not needed, and you would still do amazing, and you would still have a lot of progress if your arrows were hitting like the two or three outer circles. Like, who needs perfect centered arrow when it comes to nutrition? Like, people that are getting paid to look a certain way, or they make a living from being like, being at a certain body fat percentage. Like most people, doesn't matter. Like it really doesn't matter. And the other thing is, the biggest test for people, if you are going to be happy with yourself or not, is you looking at yourself in the mirror. That's it. Like, no number on the scale, no number from a body fat machine, no number from any macro tracking app is going to satisfy your um, desire to look a certain way. No number. So none of this really matters until you look at yourself and you're like, well, man, frig this. Like, I feel really proud of how I look. I know how hard I'm working to look this way, and I'm super happy with what I can do. And it's like, oh, if you're not happy, you want to look a certain way, okay, well then, there's ways to change this, and that's okay. But in the end, no scale, no weight scale, no macro tracking app, no micro tracking app, no glucose monitor, nothing is gonna give you the numbers to be like, oh, I'm actually really satisfied. It doesn't matter. Like unless you look at yourself and you're like, yeah, I'm proud of this. Like I'm really happy and great. I don't need anything. That's it. Like that's all you need. So the only people that really need tracking and super, super specific tracking, it's like, yeah, if you want awareness and you need to know where you at as an athlete and you're getting paid to be a professional athlete, sure, like track. If you're getting paid to look a certain way, or you're an Abercrombie model and you go, shoot for them, yeah, track. Like you need to know that. Besides that, once you have a very good rough estimate of where you need to be, and you're Cassie, you're not alone by saying like I need to know like numbers. That's okay. Know your numbers, learn them, and then guess what? You have really good intuition and eyeballs to know what's enough. And your system, your body has that response and feedback as well. We've just been so trained to not pay attention to it and disregard what your body is telling you when it comes to hunger signals, when it comes to being satiated. Like we've been trained to like disregard so much of this because it's like, well, you need to like hit these numbers and you have to listen to this and you have to do this. Like, dude, people did not have that. Like people just went by intuition and they were just perfectly fine. So we're still the same human beings. Um, yeah, good conversation. Hmm. Hmm. So yeah, that's okay. Yeah, 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 right. And if we really break it down, like let's say 130 grams of protein a day, that's actually quite simple. Like, think of you basically need to hit, if you go like this with your palm, Cassie, your palm, not mine, this should be a serving size right here. Or if you take your phone, that's a bit bigger, but about this size, that's a protein serving right there. So like this method, like if I can teach this to 18 and 19-year-old female athletes at a college and it worked for them, I'm sure it will work for you too. Literally, I had the basketball team do this, and it's like, hey, like minimum of four like palm size protein servings per day. And I was like, I gave them a whole list of different proteins to choose from. And they're like, oh, okay, well, that was really not that bad, right? So take your palm size, that's all you need. Like if you hit four, Usually about a palm size is 25 to 35 grams of protein, depending on obviously the source of protein that you're using. But you're gonna be in a very good ballpark where you're pretty close to hitting your protein every day, and you don't have to overthink it. Yeah, cool. Any comments or question on this? Don't be, it could be anything, guys. Okay. All right, I have a little pop quiz for you. Um, I've been really talking about the open, and if you guys start looking at your programming for some of you, you guys gonna see quarterfinal prep, open prep, and so on because obviously the season has changed again. Quarterfinals are back, and for most of you, um, you're making quarterfinals, which is top 25%. So now we're looking at, okay, well, how do you achieve the highest rank through quarterfinals or potentially making semifinals? So once the open starts, right, it's 3 weeks and we can talk about this more in depth with each person. But making 25% to like top 25% is not going to be like an incredible effort for you guys, right? Like I'm not worried about you guys making 25%. What's going to happen is we train really hard during the open, do the open, and not have to worry about too much like redos or anything like that because I want you to really pour energy into quarterfinal training. And Sam, you can see it on your training, like you start tomorrow, literally. Um, and because quarterfinals is 2 weeks, I think, after the open, and that's when it's gonna be like, all right, these are gonna be like 4 to 5 workouts. You're probably going to repeat, so you're looking at about six hard, intense efforts in 4 days, right? Like that's what you want to get ready for, and that's where people are going to, especially for you guys. Um, so with that said, training has been really, I've started gearing up a lot of things to get you guys ready for this. And qualifiers are coming up, tons of them, right? So my pop quiz here was, can you guys name the top 5 movements that show up in the Open every year since the almost very beginning? You can just like, if you want to raise your hand, that's fine. If you want to just like unmute and just uh, go. Thrusters, that's one. Two, three. You said rowing? That is actually not in the top 5. Yep. No. Recently, there've been a lot, yes. Pull-ups, bingo. Pull-ups or chest to bar pull-ups, same thing. And we have one more. Yeah, we said double unders. No, that's outside of the top 10. It's in the top or top 5. It's in the top 10. Muscle ups. Crazy. Yeah, so we have burpees, pull-ups, thrusters, double unders, and muscle ups. So either ring or bar. So um, obviously the open is way much like lower skill, lighter weight, which tests fitness a lot, and it hurts a lot, right? So a lot of the training is also going to evolve, like revolve around this like simple fitness. Um, but then as quarterfinals come, like um, when we start quarterfinals, you're thinking about, okay, it's going to be a little bit heavier, higher skills are going to be tested, right? So with these 5 movements, the biggest opportunity to improve any of these is to do a lot of them and learn to do them faster each time, right? Tiffany, you just went through a 6 week block of so many burpees, like so many burpees, right? And we're setting up this like base, uh, um, basically accumulation phase where you just accumulated so many repetitions and like different formats and different speeds and different sets. So now we can really start putting burpees into like CrossFit specific, like sports specific scenarios, where you can move with a certain speed, right? Like if I would think of as like, okay, well, what's like elite level accumulation of like burpee repetitions per minute in a workout, right? So like, if we have burpees, like elites are anywhere from like 17 to 20 like reps per minute for a lot of like of these like simple movements, right? So Tiff, once you have this like accumulation phase, now you're gonna start looking into like you can see in your training, it's like, all right, like now you're gonna be doing these more like with a time constraint, with like certain like the speed has already been kind of chosen for you, where I need you to like hit this amount of repetitions every so often, and then so on. So yeah, 5 movements. Most of you guys here are pretty high skills, so I'm not really worried about muscle ups or double unders. Usually, my advice for like beginner to intermediate athletes is they worry about the super high skill stuff, the bar muscle ups and the ring muscle ups, and but usually those you earn, right? Like you get to them in the end. You have to have the fitness to get to them. So the time and energy they spend on things that are in the end of workouts is taken away from time where they could have spent on building their base fitness, and they would struggle again and again in the open because fitness is tested first. Constantly varied functional movements performed at high intensity, like as simple as CrossFit as it can be. But you guys are, I would say, definitely more RX and elite level athletes. So we're not too much like too worried about, okay, well, we need time to build base fitness and then hopefully I'll get you to do like a few bar muscle ups. We're thinking of, okay, how can I place really high in the open? So anyway, that's the top five, and just kind of giving you a breakdown of the structure of how I approach programming for you guys, and what you guys are going to be seeing soon, or already seeing some of you. So, questions on training or comments on training could be like specific for you. That's okay. We'll learn from your experiences too. Are you guys nervous about the open? No, that's awesome. Same. It's fun though. Yeah, yeah. That's good. That's good. Yeah, yeah. Hey, how about you just like don't set any expectations and just wait until it's the last day to sign up and see if you want to. Just focus on training. Just like focus on what you have to do now. By the way, Cassie's coming back from a meniscus tear surgery, and she just really rebuilding a lot of strength and stability in her knee and squatting and moving and jumping. So yeah, no, definitely not. Yeah. Um, All right, well, good news to finish this up. Sam went to DC Classic, which is a Desert City Classic. Uh, Basically, from the qualifier, he wasn't even sure if he was gonna make it. He got a invite a few days after, really close to the cut line, and then he went and he got top 10. So, way to go, Sam. Absolutely, absolutely smashed it. So we did a little bit of reflecting and oh, that's cool. We did a little bit of reflecting and like Sam has like closed so many gaps on strength and just being competitive in like strength events because that's been like one thing that we've worked so hard on. And every like he's a ninja when it comes to gymnastics and super fast on his feet. So that was all super awesome. And what was it? Three top five finishes? Yeah, that's super cool. And yeah, it was awesome. Sam did great, and he just said I haven't responded yet, but he sent me like a list of like 4 or 5 competitions that he wants to do. I'm like, okay, I haven't responded yet, but Sam, I want to tell you, it's like, that's a lot, dude. Holy shit. I know you're excited. I know you're excited, but we'll yeah, it's only four. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes. You're gonna have to pick, dude. I mean, you could do it. Um, I don't know if I mean we'll talk about it. Do you want to? I don't know. Has anyone like done back-to-back qualifiers? Do you guys have experience with that? Oh yeah. Yeah. Kyler, how was the Mo Classic? Yeah, nice. Okay. Awesome. Are you planning on going to it then? Okay. Okay. Okay, cool. There are two athletes, teenagers that are probably going, so I might end up going with them to coach, so I might see you there. Sounds good. Okay. Awesome. Uh, yeah, Sam, one thing I remember, and that was earlier in my CrossFit career, um, where I was more like reckless. But I did basically like 3 weekends back to back to back. Like I went to TFX, which was Texas Fitness Experience. Then I went to a comp um in Kansas City, and then the Open started. And after the Open, and then went into quarterfinals right after. And after that, like not I got injured and I also got burned out. So I took like that summer, like obviously I was forced not to train, but like that whole summer, like I was like done. So that was my experience with like going like back to back to back. But also there was early in my career, like I did not have the volume. I did not have a lot of like preparation like I do now. So I'm sure now I could handle it way better just because recovery, like Kayla said, like like nutrition and all that stuff, like it's way better than before. But that was my experience with like the travel and the going back to back weekends. But if it's a qualifier and you're doing it from home and you can sleep and eat a lot of food and feel okay, like that could work. Yeah. The only thing I tell people is if you know that you have big weaknesses that keep you away from progressing on the leaderboard or from progressing like to a different level, like let's say you've done RX, but there's an elite division and you want to get into that elite division, right? And if you like think that doing more competition will get you to that elite division, um, that's only slowing you down because you're taking time off of training that is going to help you improve those weaknesses to get you to that elite level. And like Tiff, if you don't mind me sharing, but that's where Tiffany is right now. Like we had some really hard conversations and brainstorming together of like, okay, what is really worth doing right now? And like what are Tiffany's goals, like ultimate goals? Like she thought about going straight from Mountain West to like doing the mold classic qualifier and then going to like a powerlifting comp, mold classic, then go into the open and do this and this and this and then like I want to like do really good in the quarterfinals and ultimate goal is like we want to make semifinals and masters. So I was like, all right, well, if this is the case, this is how much time we need to take off for this competition. This is how much time we need to take off and, deload and recover from this qualifier. So like now you're only left with this much time to train. Um, you know, and we're like, well, is it reasonable to improve these skills or weaknesses in this time frame, right? Like how much time do we need? So this is something that you guys as athletes really need to sit down, consider, and it's like you can go and participate, but if your goal is to improve on a leaderboard, if your goal is to jump to the next level, then training is what's going to get you there, not doing more competitions. So that's just my last piece of advice. Yeah. 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 No, it's good stuff. Cool. Well, that's all I got for today, guys. Any comments, questions from you? Anything I can help you with, assist you with? Yeah, go for it. Mm. Oh, yeah. Mm. Very good point. Yeah. This is what I tell people. In CrossFit, uh, you're only going to progress in workouts when you're able to do work. Whenever you rest, whenever you're not moving and whenever you're not completing repetitions, you're not progressing in that workout, right? So like understanding um, not just pacing, but how to approach workouts where there's like the minimum amount of time where just you're not standing, right? Like you're not taking breaks. So like obviously if those are planned and they're short and you find yourself like moving consistently, maybe a little bit like like a tap like down in speed, but you continuously move, doing work at a slower speed is still doing more than not doing anything. So as an athlete, especially in you guys' workouts, this is something that can definitely learn. It's like what's the pacing and what are the reps that I can hold where I can keep moving. Machines are easy, right? Like you can always keep moving on a machine, but it's like burpees, it's toaster bar, it's pull-ups, it's thrusters, right? Like, all right, well, can you do 21 unbroken? Yes, you can, but are you gonna rest 30 seconds after? I was like, what if I go 11 or 12, 12, 9, but then I take only 3 breaths and then I'm up on the pull-up bar. Like that's the difference that I'm talking about. Cassie, you say something. Hmm. Yeah, for sure. Very good point. So, just to wrap this up, two things. Most training is done in interval style. It's done in accumulation of repetitions. It's finding like tough maxes, whatever. Um, there are going to be workouts that are like, okay, for time, you going all out, go for it, right? Take risks, learn about yourself. There's going to be that time as well. But in training, um, one, learning about yourself and learning how you can break things up so you can go fast. And then if, sometimes I will even put it in the comments, hey, just go for it, go all out, see what happens, right? Like you need to have that experience as well. But like Cassie said, that's sign of maturity as an athlete and understanding how to approach workouts. So really good stuff. All right, guys. Well, that's all I got. If you guys have any comments or questions, I will just hang out for another 2 minutes. If not, you can just hop out and have a lovely Monday night. Have a awesome week this week. And if you guys have any questions, just shoot messages on the app. Always helps a ton with knowing what to help you with. Sick. All right. Yeah, you're welcome, guys. Bye.